Cardano holders, welcome back. And let's talk what's next, okay? Because something very important happened if you do hold ADA. Let's stick around for a couple minutes, give you guys my thoughts and get you out of here. And this is one where we did break down below a very key support level. And I want to kind of get into this article coming out from CoinGate and talk about the facts of what's happening with Cardano right now. Okay, so before we get going, if you guys are new to the channel, we talk ADA every single day. Make sure you all hit that like button. Please subscribe down below. And this will come as a shock to most of people watching because I'm not always the guy that just says, hey, Cardano's going to the moon, right? That's not how we do things here. So try to be as objective as possible. And it just kind of goes hand in hand with how I trade crypto. So that being said, let's talk about it. Let's get into some of the facts and figures. Please remember, as we get going, this is not financial advice. Always be sure to do your own research and due diligence. But this is what we're faced with. It's a sea of red. Cardano's down 6.2% on the day, on a day where Bitcoin's damn near close to 90K. Ethereum now has breached below $3,000. But still, Cardano, it's important to understand something too, right? Always during times of turmoil like this, times of weakness, I always try to look and find the cryptos that are doing well, strength during times of weakness. And relatively speaking, okay, if we look at the last 24 hours, every single crypto is being hit. Okay, that's a red column that you can see down the board. Now, the one thing I will tell you guys is if we look towards the top of the bottom, if you will, Cardano is one of the ones that doesn't really get hit as badly. Okay, so everybody complains that, okay, Cardano's not running. It's not, pumping 30% like the rest of the crypto world. It's kind of being outperformed across the board. Well, it also kind of does the same thing in the opposite direction too. It doesn't get hit as badly, despite maybe not seeing as much volume, so on and so forth, okay? But that's basically what we're faced with. It's a day where, yes, it is kind of bad today, 6.2%, but we'll take it because we can't do anything about it except stay vigilant with what's going on each and every single day, and then making the best decisions to kind of guide us through this market for better or for worse, okay? But as we look at it right now, we still have the same thing going on in crypto. And unfortunately, it feels like we're just taking one step forward, two steps back, right? We cut the interest rates. Next thing you know, somebody says the word R, and then, everybody just goes in a tizzy and kind of just a little bit just can trigger a lot more selling momentum, right? It's very easy to trigger panic than it is to trigger FOMO in the buying direction, okay? So some of that bearish sentiment and momentum that we have in the market right now, it's probably going to be there, okay? I'm just being honest. Not financial advice. I'm not telling you guys to dump your crypto, buy more crypto, buy the dip. I'm not telling you any of that, right? All I'm just doing is telling you what I'm doing. And all things considered, Cardano at 45 cents, looking at this chart, it's only down 34%, right? And I know that's kind of I guess you would say the crappy statistic, right? When I say only, but it's a crypto that's being hit really, really badly right now, especially when we look at the top 100 and you see all of these cryptos just into the green over the last year. It's very easy to forget that there is a lot of top players that over the last 365 days, they are still in the red as well. So more or less just kind of looking at it, a lot of these cryptos pumped, okay, but they're also retreating a lot more. And when we talk about some of the big layer ones, some of the big kind of legacy cryptos out there, just for example, a couple ones, Ondo, which I'm high on, Solana, we could talk SWI, Dogecoin, 60%, the list goes on and on and on. Say, just a lot of these gains that we've had, just these cryptos are just getting ripped, okay? So on a day where, you kind of feel crappy about your Cardano and it's unfortunate, not making this a feel-good story. This isn't an empathetic rant, but this is kind of just where we're at. It's the market we're living in, and the best kind of advice that I kind of gained for myself and what I'm doing trading is if you can't beat them, join them. And I'm not talking it as FUD. I'm not saying that crypto is going to zero, but if we're going to ride this wave down, there's a lot of opportunities in both directions. That's all I'm going to say, okay? And you guys can kind of fill in that blank if you will, okay? But if you are doing that kind of trading, this is BITUNIX. This is the exchange that I do trade on. Not financial advice. Make sure it's right for you, where you're located, understand their terms and conditions. But if you do sign up using my link, you will get a 25% bonus in USDT to your futures trading account. They also offer spot as well. So not just for the leverage traders out there, but that's BITUNIX. That is my exchange that I use on a daily basis, okay? But let's talk more about what we came here to talk about. because, you know, it's just kind of that Jekyll and Hyde, right? One day the market's up, Cardano's getting some good press. Next thing you know, the next day we're breaking down beyond a key level of support. And that's kind of leaving a lot of traders frustrated. And a couple takeaways that we have to talk about is we broke down over that long held support zone after we had 3 major rebounds in 2025, a very bearish, gloomy pennant structure that has formed, leaving us with a rejection of 50 cents, strengthening that downside momentum signal. And then also, if we do look in the DMI and ADX readings, that's where we're confirming a lot of the strong selling pressure and slow long-term price performance for ADA, okay? And yeah, as bad as that sounds, and it does sound really bad, okay? You have to ask yourself, does this change how you feel about Cardano, okay? Because I'm gonna remind you guys, like I talked about earlier in this video, a year ago, we were still at the same price level, okay? And what did we have alongside of that? We had time periods where we were above $1, pushing $1.30, and even people were talking about, hey, can Cardano reach all-time highs? So that conversation is just a few days removed from where we are at right here, right now. And this is not a morale speech. Trust me, guys, it sucks. I know, I'm with you. I'm a trader first, YouTuber second, okay? That's kind of where we're at. And I am probably one of the bigger Cardano people out there that does have a substantial amount of ADA, okay? This was my first purchase in crypto and probably my biggest crypto purchase to date, okay, in terms of sheer value. But that's just me. You know, obviously you got to do what's best for you. But I still believe in this mindset that I had 2029, 2030 for Cardano, okay? But I'm not doing this for my health. We have talked about Cardano for the better part of 3 years now running. So if you guys have been rocking with me, right, it pretty much speaks for itself, right? I'm not going to talk for 3 years about a crypto that I don't believe in, okay? So on days where we are getting hit in the face and just it sucks, right? You kind of have to take the good with the bad and fall back to your roots a little bit. And that's where you find solace. At least I do. Okay. But as we do look at this slide that we have seen, the collapse is also with the, you know, not just ADA, but there's a lot of other cryptos that have failed or showing weakness and a lot of unsuccessful attempts to reclaim A, the momentum, and B, the support that we are breaching down below. Okay. But this is something where after 3 major rebounds, this is kind of the take home, I guess you would say, message of this video and a reminder. But as we decline to 47 cents, right, this is a support zone that we have held in 3 major previous cycles, okay? This has been the foundation of 3 rebounds as well for 2024. Now, if we look at that, that's where we had a 60% consistent recovery, right? Not in one day, but just a gradual kind of rebound, all right? And that's something where we did retest this again in June. It was a more of a sharper rally, but that's where we saw an 80% rebound for ADA before, once again, we broke down. So I don't think it's a now problem. I think it's a, hey, what happens when we do rebound? And this chart kind of speaks volumes from Ali. This is kind of exactly what we're looking at. And I know my head's in the way, but this is kind of the take-home message, and I will kind of alleviate that problem for you guys, okay? You can see on the left, the 4 arrows do point to these that support level being breached down below, and what has happened every single time that we did breach down below these levels, okay? This is actually the 5th time that we have done this. It's just kind of back-to-back with the prior time that we did have in November that we're kind of just going, you know, bouncing back and forth a little bit, but still, look what happens after every one of these attempts to break down below 50 cents, okay? You could basically look at the 2-month windows, 2 to 3 months after these breakdowns, that Cardano has seen significant ascensions back into positive territory, getting as high as back as we talked about it above $1, just looking back in the early part, spring, and the late winter of 2025. So just something to keep in mind. That's kind of the take-home message, if you will, that for every down, there's an up. And I know that kind of sounds very cliche and maybe not the best, I guess you'd say, best way to put it. But on a day where ADA's down 7%, that's pretty much the best I can do for you guys outside of just sharing with what I'm doing, how I'm feeling, and kind of my outlook. So hopefully this breakdown doesn't persist for too much longer. hopefully we can find ourselves rebounding back once again above 50 cents and beyond. And you know, you look at the price levels right now at 48, 49. I mean, would it really shock you if ADA was trading at 80, 90 cents, even $1 in 2 months? Okay, that's what I got. All right, and that's just kind of, you know, my thesis about it all is we've done this 4 previous times. Okay, so I know historical data is not always the most, as we say, the most historical predictor of future results, but it is kind of what's happened before. So I felt relevant to put this kind of into the conversation today and let you know how I'm feeling. So in return, I do ask you guys, if you haven't done so by now, please subscribe down below. Also, if you can, hit the thumbs up, like this video, I appreciate it, and follow me on X, all that good stuff. But I want to know down below in the comments, mainly, what are your guys' outlooks? What are you doing? Are you laughing at ADA? Are you buying more? Or are you waiting for a certain number to sell and jump ship? Leave a comment down below. I'm very curious to kind of get your guys' takes. I think that's kind of the best way to get these conversations going and really have some positive, you know, feedback and kind of use that in all directions to kind of guide us to kind of where the pace of the market is for actually people who care and want to either buy or, you know, I guess you'd say long or short Cardano. All right. So that's where I'm at. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Give me a couple minutes of your time. We'll see you all very soon in the next video. Hopefully it will be a little bit better of a day. Hate talking about crypto when it's down, but unfortunately you have to take the good with the bad and show up every day. So here we are. I'll leave you with that. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll talk to you guys very soon. Cheers.